talking to you, LA seems like the paradise that everybody thinks it was for black people.
It was nice. You know, it was like, there was none of this sitting in the back of the bus, none of that kind of stuff.
As long as you can remember being a child in LA.
I sat anywhere I wanted to when I got on the streetcar or bus.
You didn't encounter many white people though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
And no negativity or anything?
Nobody had to change seats or nothing, no.
But they said it was a lot of racism here.
Hmm?
I've heard that there was a lot of racism here.
There was. Because we were in our village, we were sort of insulated as we were kids growing up.
So long as you stayed in the village, of course it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So maybe this would be a better question. What happened when the village started to spread?
At that time, I was already gone.
Where were you?
On the west side.
So well, you were part of that. I'm saying once people started leaving that village and branching out, is that when you started encountering the race?
That's when they started to lose some of the cohesiveness of what it was about.
And encountering that racism that you didn't encounter before because you were insulated, or
actually, LA, it had some racism, depending on where we went. If we stayed mainly in the areas that, like Hollywood and places like that, didn't have any problems.
So what were the areas that were known for?
Beverly Hills was one. Glendale.
What could happen to you in those places, or what did you hear?
You get stopped by the police,
Mm-hmm.
but usually they didn't bother you. They just stopped you and told you, if you don't live out here, you need to stay away. That kind of thing.
The police told you that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever encounter that?
Oh, you mean what is it called?
Police.
DWB?
DWB?
Driving while black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You encountered that?
That happened to me in LA.
How could that happen to you in LA? And that's where black folks live.
But the police department in the 50s, it was rough on black people.
What do you mean?
And black males especially.
What do you mean? What did they do?
They would just stop you for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they would rough you up pretty bad. Fortunately, that didn't happen to me. But I remember after I had gotten married, I was on my way home. I was on Santa Barbara, which is Martin Luther King now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a school over there. I forget what it's called. But it's near Lamert.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on our way home, my wife and I, and police were beating up this young black man. And she said, "Oh, we gotta stop." I said, What we gotta do is go home. Because if we stop and get involved in that, then they'll wind up beating up you and me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no. But it was a pretty rough time in the 50s.
Well, where did this mentality come from that they could just...
Well, they had a police chief named Parker. Under Parker, the police department was kind of out there.
Only towards black people?
Probably Hispanics too at that time, because they were, their numbers had built up.
But is there any justification for this behavior? I mean, there's no justification for police brutality, but...
Yeah. Well, no, you could just be driving along, and especially like you got a new car, and you're really clean, nicely dressed, and if you get stopped, just depending on how they felt.